Valorous Day and welcome back to another episode of Father and Sundays, the unexplainable guide to absolutely nothing. This week we are on episode 95.
95?
And we are talking about William Shakespeare.
Niceth.
So stick around if it true thee wanteth to hear of more. Good day, sir.
Good day, sir. And how are you?
Yep, I'm fine.
That was fairly painful, that beginning bit, wasn't it?
It was.
Did you do that in one take? Or?
No, it took a number of takes. But what's funny is I just thought, that last take was pretty good, but I'm just going to do one more and the last one was perfect. What's funny about it, though, is I just listened back and it's difficult to even tell all of the different words I'm saying. So I
think it probably, when you try and translate something into... I've seen it with Dickens and Shakespeare. It does overdo it. It doesn't actually do it how it was. So you're going to have every word goes.
But I said where art or art. I
Yep.
said, but it's not that.
No. Well, it was worth a go, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Connor, by the way.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I'm the son of Father and Sundays. And you are?
David. I am the father of Father and Sundays. I always find that quite difficult to even think about.
What? Who you are?
I think we've established on my...
I'm not your dad.
Eh?
I'm not your dad. I'm not your real dad.
I know. I know that. And it's not like this is a revelation on this particular... It's the first... What? What do you mean?
The other way round.
Right. No, I knew that.
The past 24 years.
Yes. No, we've established my memory and ability to talk is sort of... He's failing. That's the word I was looking for in previous episodes. So, we'll get on with this. This is something that.
I mean, because we discovered that in the last episode, which the last episode was quite interesting. You actually had someone asking you about that episode for like the entire week, didn't you?
Yes. We're giving him a shout out again.
Yeah, give him a little shout out.
Give Little Hands a little wave out again. Yes, Christian was asking me when it was going out because I said I'd give him a shout out on it. So, yes. And it's a shout out again, Christian. What about that? 2 weeks on the trot.
2 weeks on the trot, and he also got 2 in the last one. So
unbelievable.
You're done now, Christian. No more.
Yeah, you're done. You're done for the moment anyway. Good lad you are. What sort of week you had then?
Oh, well, honestly, it's been... mind-frazzling.
Yes.
If that's a phrase.
Yeah.
I planned out my week. I can't remember if I said it in the last episode, but I planned it out.
Oh, you've done a lot of planning.
Relatively okay. I colour-coded it and everything. It's going relatively okay.
Looks fantastic.
There's some stuff today that threw it off. I got a splinter.
Oh, yeah, you have, haven't you? How is that now?
Well, I think I've got rid of it.
Yeah?
But it's now just hard skin.
Oh, you've got to keep your eye on that now. In case something happens, your hand falls off in the night or something.
Maybe.
No, I tried to operate on it.
It was the tiniest thing ever.
You kept pulling faces at me, so I
excuse me.
Decided to step
away. What you
away.
did is I think you pushed it in further.
No, you have to tease it. That's the whole point. You have to sort of
what
lure
names did you call
out.
it? What names did you call it?
Okay, no, I didn't. What I was doing with the tweezers, you have to sort of.
Yeah, but I think you're pushing it the wrong way.
No.
So you're trying to push against it by squeezing around it, but you're trying to push it up using the tweezers. But I think you pushed it the wrong way and pushed it in further.
Have I got any splinters?
What?
Have I got any splinters?
Not that I'm aware of.
There you go then. I must be doing so right.
Neither have I, Dad.
Yeah, but it took you a while to not have any splinters, didn't it? So who's the one who can do it and who isn't? Yeah, I think we both know.
No, but when was the last time you had a splinter?
I don't. They enter my... I sort of will them out of my body.
You just push really hard. And they just go...
I go, and they just fly out.
And they
like
go and hit
the darts.
If you go into your room, there's actually the wall which just got lots of little needles
like a
in
porcupine,
it.
Yeah. Right. Nice haircut, by the way.
Thanks. Nice haircut, by the way.
Thanks very much, yeah. Yeah, I was quite pleased with that. We had that done today. We'd like to talk about it when we've had our haircut as well. Because it's really interesting.
We normally get it done on a Saturday. We normally record on a Saturday. So
yeah, it's going to happen.
Quite a lot of podcasts have got, we've just had a haircut.
Yeah, I know. Well, it is important. People need to know these things, don't we?
They.
What?
You said, people need to know these things, don't we?
We do, don't they? See, I told you, didn't I? It's been. Thanks for asking. It's been another.
How's your week been?
Terrible week. It's been another terrible week. It's just.
You've had a new job yet?
Bizarre. No, not yet. No, I don't know.
Have you considered starting a podcast?
I have, but it doesn't seem to make me any money. You know, so how long we've been doing that? So we're nearly. I don't know if we mentioned this last time, but this is getting on for 2 years now.
Sorry. We've been doing it for 2 years.
We've been doing it for 2 years now. This.
Yeah, it was earlier on the
I
month.
haven't earned anything.
7th of February.
If anything, we just pay out more and more money to do it.
Oh yeah, because we're looking at mics, weren't we?
Yeah. A couple of blokes called Mike that we're going to get in to do it. So no, terrible week. There's been bits and pieces going on. I did have a rather weird encounter with 2 old women, and I'll flesh that out a little bit. Basically, I was walking along, and obviously it's getting a bit colder again. The weather's changed again, and I wear shorts for work.
Although it's sunny today.
It was sunny today, but a little bit cold as well.
It did also rain.
And they
hailed, didn't it?
Yes, it did. And they walked towards me, and they're saying something. And then one of them said, which I expected, I know them quite well, these ladies, said to me, "Oh, you got your shorts. I can't believe you walked around in shorts again." I said,
Classic.
"Well, I've only just..." Everybody says that. And I said, "Well, I've only just put them on." I said, "Because I've been wearing..." And she said, "Yeah, you've been wearing them black tights underneath your shorts, haven't you?" And the other one looked at her and went, "You've been looking at him." She goes, "I look at him out of my window." She said, "You pervert." And then these 2 older ladies, I was walking towards my van, and all I could hear him as they walked away going, "No, you're a pervert. No, you're a pervert." But it's good to see that the older generation still have a laugh like that. And the only other thing, I'm a little bit concerned. We talk about little hands. There's lots of nicknames for people at work. You've got another mention, look. But I'm a little bit concerned what with the revelation about me eating cat food with my scrambled egg, that I'm going to have a nickname once that goes out.
Are you going to try and jump with the nickname before anyone else can?
What, and call myself Whiskers or something?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, from now on, I should
or
be...
Tibbles
or Felix or something like that, yeah. But people get nicknames for less than that, believe me. There's some unbelievable ones in there. So, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about that. But there you go. Other than that, just the same old, same old. Come on, you Irons. West Ham won 4-0 today, which we're very happy about, which would have been last week when this goes out.
Yeah.
I have to say that because it doesn't happen that often, you know. What we talk about this week?
Well, before that,
what?
On Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, on Wednesday.
So I'm still aching. So I haven't run for months.
No, you haven't, have you?
And then on Wednesday, we decided to do a 10K.
Yeah, really stupid, to be honest, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really stupid.
So you did it in the light and on a flat surface, didn't you?
Absolutely not. Well, kind of flat surface. Well, it was a flat course, but did it on grass. So it was all bumpy.
It was very bumpy and it was very dark. Yes.
Yeah.
No, that was good.
Did it though?
Yes, we did it. It was like a virtual race, or when I call a virtual race, so basically you do the race. People do race all over the country.
It was meant to be on Sunday.
Yeah,
but like last Sunday. But we signed up on that Sunday.
No, they've done a lot of this through the pandemic now, but they've carried it on to raise money for charities and that.
Yeah,
so
it's
that's
for
the whole idea.
So it's actually local landmarks. So it's the same one as the London Landmarks Half Marathon and the London Landmarks Skyscraper Challenge.
Yep.
Which, just as a reminder, so it's for that race. The 10K we did, we also raised money for Tommy's.
Yeah,
just a reminder, I am doing the Skyscraper Challenge in September, in which you can donate by going to fatherandsandys.com/charity. And you can see more on there, and then it gives you a link to the actual donation page. But yes, that'll be raising money for Tommy's as well. Just a little reminder there. But we had our medals arrive today as well.
We had our medals. We wore them briefly, didn't we?
Yep.
And then the person came around to collect our hair.
Yeah,
I don't send my hair off.
That's what they
to
do.
have it done. Yeah, to cut our hair. And
they take it off.
And I felt a little bit embarrassed to be wearing my medal while they did that.
Well, I took mine off, and Moana picked it up in her mouth and threw it in the bin.
Oh, nice. That's what she thought of it.
She actually quite literally picked it up in her mouth, put it in the bin. I was like, what the hell?
Before we go on any further, there was one thing about that run, walk, run. It was in the dark, and I had a head torch on, didn't I? So that we could see where we're going. We needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kept getting angry at you with it.
Oh, because I kept turning around and
You
talking
kept
to
talking
you
around
and
to talk
blinding
to me,
you.
and I couldn't see where I was
I can't help
going.
that, 'cause I don't, I don't know. I forget I've got it on. I did try to put it so that it was on the side of my head so it lit up where you were running, but then that was really freaking me out. But what really freaked me out was I kept looking around as we were running and walking and running, and I started seeing beasties in the near the banks of the
Except
river.
seeing
and
some eyes glowing and
just
looking back at
eyes
us.
glowing back at us, which I was absolutely thrilled at. 'cause
I'm
I
not
thought
fully
these are-
convinced it wasn't the two blokes that were smoking weed that we ran past, just stopped
They
and
certainly
looked at
affected
us.
their eyes then, because one
Yeah.
had green eyes and the other one had orange. But we were seeing these things, weren't we? I was saying, "Oh, this is good," but then I just freaked myself out by it because I thought, in a minute, I'm going to go over. There's going to be hundreds of eyes all looking at us, and that'll be the last thing anybody ever hears from us. Well, they're not going to hear from us, do they? That's the last thing we ever see. That's what I meant to say. Anyway, William Shakespeare.
That's what we're talking about. It's
It
also
is.
worth mentioning that we have spoken briefly about William Shakespeare on a previous podcast. On the Tudors episode, which was episode 62, we did talk,
62.
Six-
I can't believe it was
62.
62.
we did talk about the Tudors.
Yeah.
And we spoke
did
about William Shakespeare
say-
with that.
We did say we might elaborate on some of the characters in these particular...
I think we realised we could do a lot more on Shakespeare than what we did there.
Yeah. So let's start this off with, right, now, it's not everybody's cup of tea, which is probably one of his sayings, but it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's something that when I was at school was studied as far as English literature was concerned. I believe when you were at school, they did it, and I believe they still do it now. So
Well,
it's bearing
yeah.
in mind how long ago they were first published.
English literature doesn't change, though, does it?
Well, but there'll be works that are now considered
Classics or whatever.
classics that are perhaps have been written after I was at school. Do you
Absolutely,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
but they
There'll
don't-
always be things like Dickens and Shakespeare, but there will come a time, perhaps, when there's less of that, and you might have a particular, period where no Shakespeare.
Oh no,
plays
absolutely, absolutely. You could get stuff like one day maybe they're studying the Hunger Games or Thursday Murder Club or something like that. But at this moment in time, in reality, it would take quite a lot for you to knock off one piece of literature with another. So of Mice and Men and stuff like that's still going to be there. To
But
Kill a
that's obviously
Mockingbird.
more modern classic.
Yeah, To Kill a Mockingbird
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But they are still examples of exemplary English literature. So that doesn't mean that they're just going to disappear as time goes by. It just might mean there might be other stuff that that you could do as well. And the thing is with English literature, you study it, but they often, like, not every single year or not every single class, whatever, will study the same thing. So I studied Of Mice and Men at school, but it may be that other people didn't.
Right. So what Shakespeare plays did you do, or what?
In primary school,
Primary school.
yeah,
Wow. Go on then.
in primary school we read Midsummer Night's Dream.
I think we just did pop-up books in primary school.
Yeah, but that was because you were from Basildon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yes, all right. And then in secondary school, I think I did Romeo and Juliet, and we also watched the film Romeo and Juliet.
Oh right. No. So
That wasn't in school. That was actually me and a group. I remember actually, me and a bunch of my friends. We all went to the cinema to watch Romeo and
No
Juliet.
way. How old
Yeah,
were
we
you?
did.
You got to be
21.
right.
No, we weren't 21. But no, we were in
You were
secondary
adults,
school.
young adults.
No, we was in like. It was either GCSEs or before that.
Yeah, but you still.
So we would have been like 13,
I don't like
14,
to dictate how
15.
old you should be to go and see Romeo and Juliet.
It's a great film.
Is it?
Yeah.
I
Have you
wanted to
seen
see.
it?
No, I wanted to see Sherlock Gnomes.
Yeah, I wanted to
because
see Sherlock Gnomes.
because I quite like Sherlock Holmes, but I don't know if it's going to ruin it for me. Is it
doubt
just
it.
is it just a series of films with the pun of having gnome in it?
Yeah,
No Place Like Gnome and
but they're English films.
Gnome Man's an Island. They're English films.
Yeah.
I know they've got people like Elton John in them and that. Yeah. Anyway, right.
But they're
So-
both English stories, aren't they? Sherlock Holmes and Romeo and Juliet.
Well, there would be. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Right. Oh, here we go. This is where it all starts breaking down.
Anyway, they're the ones I studied.
They're the ones you studied. And did you enjoy those particular...
I bite my thumb at you, sir. They're all right.
You bite your thumb at me?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was like swearing, wasn't it?
Yeah. But
I bite my thumb at you, sir.
Because we did, and I'm trying to remember all the ones we studied. Sorry. I think we definitely did Macbeth.
Never did Macbeth.
No, we did that.
Wasn't it Hamlet as well?
That's another one, yeah. But I think...
Which one's the Scottish play? Is that Macbeth?
That's Macbeth, yeah. So...
should we be saying that instead?
No, because... Again, we go back to Blackadder. No, so we did that. I don't think we did any other Shakespeare plays because we did things like The Crucible and things like that as well. But I think it's the language, isn't it? That's why what I was saying about whether it was still relevant now. I mean, obviously, we're talking about things that were written in the 1500s, 1600s, early 1600s. So even the language, when I studied them, obviously it was a long time before that they were written. So the language is weird, and the sentence structure and everything else doesn't, it doesn't flow, perhaps, and I get why kids and young adults look at it and think, what? Because it's not relevant anymore, or it doesn't feel like it's that relevant. It's a classic, so you study a classic.
There was a lot of things that Shakespeare was a pioneer, you could say.
Oh, without a doubt.
And this is probably the reason why he's studied so much as he is because he created a lot of phrases, and we already mentioned about the coining phrases and stuff like that. He made a lot of phrases, essentially made a lot of words up, which does lead you to go, what on earth does that mean? Oh, it's because he made it up. And
well, do you know they reckon? This is an approximation, but 1,700 words he invented.
See, this is the thing, and even then, at that point in time, so people wouldn't have had a clue what he's talking about then as well.
Well, I guess that's true. Because although some of the words might have been sort of variations on a theme and that.
I guess they were colloquialisms, weren't they?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Easy for you to say. But yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one. I just think that, and we'll move on to particular bits that, and facts about him and facts about that sort of thing, some of the sayings and all the rest of it. But I wonder how far in the future they will still be looking at Shakespeare plays. Things from last week that just didn't make sense.
When I said the phrase, I
haven't got a Scooby-Doo what that meant.
Yeah, I really don't know what I said either.
Things from last week that just didn't make sense. Okay, so I'm going to hit you with some facts about old Willie Shakespeare.
That hurt.
Yeah. Did you know he was born...
Hang on. You said, did you know?
Yeah.
You don't normally say it like that.
Did you know he was born in April 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon?
I did know he was born in Stratford-upon-Avon because I've been there.
You have been there.
I've been to his house.
Yes.
I've been to his other house.
Yeah.
And I've been to his...
Third house.
Did
he have a third house?
No, wasn't it his wife's or his mum's house or something?
I don't know.
Hang on, who's Anne?
Anne Hathaway was his wife.
Anne Hathaway, but not the actress.
Not the actress.
So
no.
it was Anne Hathaway's house, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was
his house. He was.
Oh, what was it called?
Brought up in
New House.
And then there was also Shakespeare's new house.
Yeah.
Which don't really...
Actually, that was really interesting. We went round those particular places. I mean, Stratford-upon-Avon is a lovely place.
We've been to the one that he was
born in?
Born in or lived
Well,
in?
certainly the one where he lived in when he was a child, because his dad was worked with leather, didn't he?
Yeah. And there's like, because you can wear the
gimp.
gloves. You can,
No, he was some sort of
you can wear the gloves made of squirrels, basically.
He did.
Yeah.
Now, I had a lot of examples of that, didn't they? Didn't they have people in those houses that were they? It was interactive.
Yes. So there was people in that house. So there was a woman that we went into a room and she was just dressed up, and I turned round to I think either you or Mum, and I went, "Is that woman a like dummy or is that person real?" And then she turned around to me and went, "I'm real."
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we do like to endear ourselves to people when we're.
But that one we've been to twice, and the other two we've been to only once.
Yeah.
If we were to rate them, Shakespeare's actual home was really good.
Yeah, really interesting.
There was a guided tour of Anne Hathaway's house because I think it was so small they did it a bit more guided.
Yeah, and there was nice gardens.
But there was good Jenga in the garden.
Yeah.
Whilst it rained. Shakespeare's new house, I'll be honest, rather boring. You just walk around and look at art sculptures.
But some of them were really cool.
They were interesting.
Because they were depictions of different plays and that, weren't they?
But I was interested in Shakespeare history,
Yeah.
not people's depictions of Shakespeare's history.
Oh, right.
Do you know what I mean? I just, look, it was good. It just, out of the three, it was my least favourite. It was most boring.
It's such a nice place. I like Stratford-on-Avon. That's where...
no offence to people there.
No.
No, Stratford-on-Avon's
that's where they do the people that make Rosie and Jim and all the rest of it.
Yeah, and also, I remember you took me to, the first time we went there, you then took me to Game. So, because you were looking, so is this what you were after? Because it was an Xbox 360. I was like, yeah, I'm after. And basically, I think you were trying to determine exactly what I wanted for my birthday because we went before my birthday.
Did I?
You got me an Xbox 360 that year for my birthday.
Wow, I'm generous, aren't I?
You and Mum.
Don't even remember that now. Right. I hope you behaved yourself to get that. I remember a witch's shop there.
Yeah, there is a witch shop
opposite
as well.
A little cafeteria we went in. There you
cafe.
go, everybody. That's really interesting. A little bit of a glimpse into our life.
I've got a video of us stirring the tea.
Really?
In the cafe. Because we did it in slow-mo.
Did we?
Yeah, we added the milk to it.
You should put that on YouTube. We could start a whole new thing.
You added the milk to it. This is completely not
what on earth is going on here? No.
But you added the milk to it, and because you knew I was doing a slow-mo, you purposely just kept on pouring. I was like, why are you pouring so much milk in? It was a really milky tea in the end.
Oh, well, yeah, I like milky teas. Anyway, right. He was born in 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon. He died... he was born in April. He died in April in 1616 in Stratford-upon-Avon. He was 52. And bearing in mind the life expectancy was sort of, the average was about 30 to 40 years, that's pretty good going.
Yeah. So if this was the Getting Old episode,
you beat him.
You beat him.
Well. Yeah, well, I beat him, but in those days, I would be ancient in those days.
So you can put your hand in your nail on your forehead and
he's
go,
a loser. His wife, as we've already alluded to, was Anne Hathaway. Yeah, not that one. Do you remember when we went they started talking about that, and there were some other people there, I won't say the nationality, but they seemed to be a little bit confused by that when they heard him say about it being Anne Hathaway.
I think people genuinely thought it was...
And he had to explain to them that it's nothing to do with the actress. Really?
Were they disappointed?
They seem confused. You're in a house that's quite clearly from a certain age, so we're talking Elizabethan, Jacobean sort of look to it, and they're asking about whether it's anything to do with the actress Anne Hathaway, who 40 maybe, something like that.
I remember walking through that as well, and we
some people are idiots.
We found mouse traps and some electric stuff, and they were like, because it's clearly been put in after, we were like, this is an ancient plug socket.
Yeah. God's sake. Anyway, he had children. He had Susan, and he had twins, Hamnet and Judith. Right?
Hamnet.
He produced most of his works.
Because he said Hamlet, but he sneezed at the same time.
Yeah, probably. He produced most of his works between 1589 and 1613. That was his little purple patch there, if you pardon the expression. And the interesting thing about it, I mean, although he came to London, he had his plays performed in London. He spent an awful lot of time in London. He was pretty much between there and Stratford-upon-Avon, he was, quite a lot of his time was spent in both places, but quite a lot of time in London. It was only after he died that two of his actor friends, John Hemmings and Henry Condell, published his works. Again, you think of him, he must have written all this stuff down, it was performed and all the rest. Well, he did, but it was never put out further than that. It was only performed. It wasn't like he had to produce it en masse for people.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was done in 1623, so that was still, that was after his death, 10 years after his death. But still, I think people were starting to realise more about how prolific he was, how important he was. Quite often this happens, but after his death. And it was only then that they published those works, which I think is mad. Because you just assume these books of his works have been around forever.
Yeah, you do. I'm going to be completely honest with you, Dad, and I was listening to quite a lot of that. However, I went off a little bit for a moment because I was thinking about the episode of the Blackadder where he goes into the time machine.
Yes.
Yeah, I just thought about that for a bit.
He punches, he comes out when he punches Shakespeare in the face and says that's for all. Well, actually, we'll get on to, I've written a song about Shakespeare and it starts talking about that sort of thing as well, about how it influences teenagers and what they think about it. Anyway, so the plays were performed in the Globe. Now, they built the Globe by the Thames, him and a number of people, a consortium, but he had the Lord Chamberlain's men that he was part of and also used to perform his plays. But when you go, I've never actually been in the Globe, and I think you can go in
past it.
Yeah, it looks incredible. I mean, obviously, it's been rebuilt. I believe it's on exactly the same spot, but it's been rebuilt sort of as a working museum almost, because it was destroyed. Yeah, I know they do, and I think that'll be quite interesting to go and see. It just seems like the right thing for it to be. When he died, he left. He was a fairly rich man, I believe, and I mean, obviously he had the properties, which would have been a big deal, like we talked about. He left the properties money to his daughters. He left his wife. It actually said he left her my second best bed. So I'm not quite sure what the relationship was between his wife and him at that point, or at any point during it. I think she was pregnant when they got married. 3 months pregnant when they got married. But obviously, this is all from bits and pieces of information.
Wasn't he quite a lot younger than her as well?
I think he was a little bit younger than her. I don't know that it was a huge amount younger.
Wasn't he like 15 when they got married?
Oh, I don't know. No. No, 18 maybe. I don't know. I'll have to look that up, find out. But you said before about it, he invented all these words. You're going to look it up now, aren't you?
Yeah,
he invented all these words. Many of them are still used in English language. Where have we got? Like bandit, critic, dauntless, dwindle, swagger, undress, unearthly. You think now these words are surely...
was 18.
He was 18. So
but she was 26.
Oh, there you go. And that was quite a big difference.
And she died at 67.
Wow.
Yeah.
Laying in the second best bed that he owned.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these words, you can't... I can't comprehend that they didn't exist beforehand. But in the context of the stuff he wrote, he's actually making things up all the time, I mean, that's quite... It's mind-blowing, really. Words that not used so much these days. Dispunge, that never really caught on.
It's when you...
Dispunge
it's
or
where you remove
sponge?
a sponge.
Yeah, dispunge. Congreted.
That's when you say you welcome someone. You say hello, but you've welcomed them to a scam.
Yeah, congreted. Very good. Smillet. Do you know what a smillet is?
No.
Smell it.
That's after you smelt it.
Smell it? No, smell it. No, it's a kind of half smile. Is a smell it?
Oh, makes sense actually.
Palmy.
That's when you got very sweaty palms.
Well, it's to do with having things in the palm of your hand. It's supposed to sort of be a
Like you got control.
show of control and that. Yeah, but that. Boo buckles or bar buckles?
Boob buckles. That's a bra, isn't it?
Boo buckles. Infamonize. Which is, I think, means to sort of someone's. It's to someone who was famous is not now so famous. So I mean, infamous, yeah, but that's a different thing entirely, isn't it? Stop mucking about with that box. So yeah, I mean, also we talk about, you know, sayings. Are you still mucking about? That's picking up on my microphone. That you doing that? I didn't realise.
I just knocked over accidentally.
On purpose. On purpose. I didn't realise how many phrases originated in Shakespeare's work, like a wild goose chase from Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
I mean, you just assume these things have been around for ever. Yeah, but they've got to come from something, and I didn't realise. I had no comprehension that he was so influential on things that we, you know, I would use these phrases.
You're speaking faster than you're thinking, aren't you?
Yeah, neither here nor there. I'd use that phrase. I had no comprehension that was something from a fellow and something he had created. Too much of a good thing from As You Like It. You know, Break the Ice. The Taming of the Shrew.
Break the Ice is from Ice Age, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. That's what it is. Not Slept One Wink. Foregone Conclusion. The world's mine oyster, or the world's your oyster. You know it.
Yeah. Some of them have evolved.
They've evolved, but own flesh and blood, melted into thin air. These are things that you could potentially use on a day-to-day basis and not be aware that they came from these
aware of the
particular
history.
things.
But there's a lot of things that were coined from Shakespeare.
No, without a word. Mum's the word. Mum's the word. Henry VI, Part 2. All that glisters is not gold. All that glitters is not gold. It's just, I just find it amazing.
You can't polish a turd.
Yeah, that's one of his as well. But it goes beyond sort of a play, a piece of literature or something like that. When that starts, I mean, what a legacy to have things like that used. I mean,
are you going to try and leave some phrases for people to use in your wake?
In my wake?
Yep.
When you say in my wake, is in as actual wake or when I'm gone?
When you're gone.
When I'm gone. Yeah, well, it'd be great if people used
Waylayum.
Waylayum. Yeah, if that becomes something that everybody used day to day. I mean, but it is. I mean, I can think now. I can't think of something like now.
There's a phrase I use all the time that I didn't come up with, but I've coined it from somewhere and I feel like it should catch on, which is feed two birds with one scone. People find that funny.
Oh, do they? Right.
Yeah.
That's, it sounds a bit nicer than the actual
Kill
phrase.
two birds with one stone. And that's the whole point.
I did actually say something today. I said that where there's a sound, there's a smell. I used that as saying today. Yeah, I did because we were working and we could smell onions, and near to where we work is a big old
smelt it,
dealt it.
Yeah.
Supplied. Whoever denied it supplied it. The people.
Whoever did the rhyme did the crime.
There's a big scout camp near to where we work, and you can smell onions.
Whoever
there was
wrapped it. Never mind. Don't do that one.
There was loads. There was a bit of noise I could hear, but there was a smell of onions. And I said, "There's obviously something going on there." I said, "I can hear the noise, and where you hear the noise, you smell the smell." And I've even changed that from what I've originally said a second ago. But I'll think of something. I'll have to think of something really profound.
Yeah.
But perhaps not now.
Candles burn brighter the more oxygen there is.
That is not a saying. That's a fact.
Yes.
I don't think you can use it like that.
All right.
But
thanks.
good try.
Thanks. A song.
A song, as per usual. Again, this is an original. Original song.
Oh, right. Okay.
I've penned a song about Shakespeare, about his beginnings, his life. William Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare.
Interesting fact about that, actually, about William Shakespeare. Did you know that he never spelt his name William Shakespeare?
He spelt it Willem Dafoe.
He spelt it Wilm Shakp, William Shakespeare, Wom Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, Wilm Shakespeare, and William Shakespeare.
Basically, someone's come along going, he can't make up his mind. I'm just going to mix them
not being funny
because
they've got his signature, and that's all the ones that are there. So why we say William Shakespeare like we do? We've that's evolved into that. You know, that's not necessarily.
Maybe it translated from old Shakespeare in English.
Well, no, but the fact that they are saying that. When I read something about it, they are saying it's just sort of morphed as it's gone through the ages.
Like rather than saying art, I now say ah.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay. So anyway,
song
about William Shakespeare, about his beginnings, the trouble he went through, and his final successes. Hope you enjoy it.
Has this song got a name?
It's called, sorry, I forget about this. It's called William Shakespeare. And this is an interesting fact, actually. Can I just say that as well? No one really knew what he looked like.
This is the longest intro to... I know this already, but yeah.
There's no images of him, apart from people who painted him after his death anyway. So this depiction we've got of him might be completely different.
Yeah.
And this song's called William Shakespeare, Bard Not Bald.
They call me the Bard of Avon, nemesis of many teens. They struggle with reading my sonnets, despair at performing my scenes. My name is known to many, I'm revered around the world, but the critics are pretty mixed and think I'm Richard III. So I made my way up to London town with a view to selling some place. It's full of rats and stinks of shit every day. My wife is Annie Hathaway, but not the one that you think. I've got 3 kids and I barely see and I drink. Foul and foul is fair, but I don't know why they think I'm bold. My hair's like that of Lionel Blair, I'm ripped as fuck and 6 feet tall. Lord, what fools these mortals be, my life's full of toil and trouble. Marlowe's the author of all I've done, but he's the poor man's Barney Rubble. What light through yonder window breaks? The bailiffs are pounding my door. It's another dinner of goldfish cakes, I'm so poor. What I need is a surefire hit and somewhere for it to be shown. I'll pen a play about a Roman git for the Globe. Call me the Bard of Avon, a gift for all those teens. They'll delight at reading my sonnets, leap at the chance of performing performing my scenes.
Game time.
Now it is a time for a game. I've prepared a game.
No, you haven't.
No, I haven't.
You say that as if you do it all the time. I think I can
done it
count
twice
on one hand
in recent history.
in all for the last year and a half the ones you've done.
Go on then.
But there you go. No, I'm not going to do that, but I'm saying that you don't normally, but I do appreciate when you do it because it takes the heat off me a little bit. You're going to love this. I don't think...
I know I'm not, based on the fact that you just said you're
Right,
going to love it.
I
And
don't
then you swelled.
think since I did Hurdler or Murderer have we had something that I was so pleased about.
Hurdler or Murderer was great.
It
And
was
I think
great.
it
I
angered me at the
disturbed
time
me a little bit.
potentially, but...
Yeah. I was so excited when I thought of this idea that I went immediately to tell your mother about it. As you can imagine,
Your mum?
she engaged with me and was really enthusiastic with me. Not. So I was a little bit wounded, but I went ahead anyway. So...
I rushed down to tell Mum that that West Ham won 4-0 today.
Yeah, so you should. Yeah, she said you'd already told her when I went down and told her. Anyway.
Isn't it funny we go and tell her this stuff, but she does not
Do
care.
I tell you what the quiz is before I play the sting, or do I play the sting and then tell you what the quiz is? I can't remember how we do this.
You normally tell me what the quiz is before we play this thing.
Okay, the quiz this week is I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of a particular story. And I need you to tell me whether it is Midsummer or Midsummer. Is it a Shakespeare play or is it an episode of Midsummer Murders?
Oh, God.
Midsummer or Midsummer?
Hang on, Midsummer or Midsummer? They're both called Midsummer.
Yeah, but it's not spelt the same. Midsummer, as in Midsummer, as in Midsummer Murders, is Midsomer, whereas the other one is MID. It's summer, as in SUMMER. Because Midsummer is a place, not Midsummer.
This has been really interesting. Should we play the sting?
Play sting.
There's a lot of murder going around, probably keep away. But is it Macbeth or Barnaby? It's up to you to say.
Oh, nice sting.
Did you enjoy that sting? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Shall we kick on then?
Yep.
Okay, this is the first one for you then.
How many questions?
There's 10.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Yeah,
9 and a
Because you
bit.
just had to write that last one today, didn't you?
Well, I thought I only had to write one today, then I realised I'd got over enthusiastic about it again and thought I'd done more than I had. Look, let's not dwell on that. Let's get straight into this because I want you to get as annoyed as quickly as possible.
Right, okay, thanks. Appreciate
Number
that.
1.
Yep.
A man loans some money from a dubious loan shark in order to help a friend impress a woman. However, when he can't pay his loan, he is mercilessly threatened and pursued. The woman that originally the money was borrowed for, so he could impress her, she becomes a lawyer and saves her husband's friend.
And this is a synopsis either from
Midsummer Murders
or Midsummer Night's Dream.
or, well, I've said Midsummer or Midsummer, but it's either a Shakespeare work or a work of Barnaby and the guys.
All right. Midsummer Murders.
That is incorrect.
I was going to say Midsummer Night's Dream until you re-explained it.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
It's the story of the Merchant of Venice, which is Shakespeare. 2. A man fakes his own death after being pursued by debtors. Ooh. But in the process dies in a cauldron of boiling liquid. He is found in an abbey which is cursed, and subsequently all those who knew of the deception die, reaffirming the legend.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
That is incorrect.
Oh my goodness.
This is Midsummer Murders. And
But there was a curse.
It's the episode of The Ghost of Coulston Abbey. Question 3. Oh, come on. Come on, this is a good
I
idea.
never watched all of Midsummer Murders.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say this, right? But it's a guess.
Or a guess.
But just a fact, it's Midsummer or Midsummer.
That's all you've loved.
That's the whole premise. Right, look.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Number 3. Just
Let's
please.
say the greatest bit about Midsummer Murders, it is good, but the greatest thing about Midsummer Murders is trying to guess how many get
People
murdered
die,
in the episode.
Yeah, no, we're out of doubt. Right, okay, third one here. Come on.
What happens if you win that?
What?
How many people die in Midsummer Murders?
Respect. That's
Just
all it is. Respect.
And pride.
Yeah. An elderly woman dies. Her friend witnesses her state of distress after emerging from some dense woods. A lady who lives in a house on the top of the hill spreads rumours, and her eccentric son are killed for their interference.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
That is incorrect. It's Midsummer Murders, The Killings at Badger's Drift. You're 3 wrong. Come on, Connor, come on. Right, 4. A jealous husband suspects his wife of cheating on him with his best friend, and she dies. Their newborn daughter is sent away to live on a farm, but when she is older, she falls in love with the son of her estranged dad's best friend.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
You say that, it makes it sound like you think it's from Midsummer Night's Dream.
No, I mean, sorry, it just means it's Shakespeare.
Correct. It's from The Winter's Tale, not A Winter's Tale by David Essex. The Winter's Tale. Well done. You're pulling it back.
Thanks.
Next one. A man spurred on by his wife and an ancient legend kills a man and takes his place. Whenever someone is close to finding out, he kills them, resulting in numerous deaths.
Midsummer Murders.
That is Macbeth. You're wrong. The Scottish play. Try this out. It is All Saints' Eve and there is a full moon. A village is terrified as a half-man, half-wolf kills person after person, inflicting an ominous mark on each of the dead, and leaving a similar mark as a sign of impending death. Eventually the wolf changes back into a young woman who appears orphaned but is eventually helped by her real parents.
Shakespeare, Midsummer Night's Dream.
That is incorrect. It's the Wolf Hunter of Little Worthy.
The hell? What the hell? There's no fantasy in...
It is. It's a one where she dresses up as a wolf and then changes back and then dresses up as a wolf and she kills all these different
Have you watched
people.
that episode?
Yes, it's great. I've watched them all.
Is it good?
Yeah, I enjoyed that. It's got Mark Williams in as her actual dad or adopted dad or something like that. Anyway, a man has 3 daughters, but he only arranges to leave money to 2 of them, casting the third aside. Once the legalities have been completed, the 2 daughters turn on him and watch him go mad. The daughter he casts aside comes back to help, but in the end, the father and all 3 daughters die.
Midsummer Night's Dream, Shakespeare.
It is from King Lear. Well done. You've only got a few of these
I don't
to do.
feel
You
like
look absolutely pained.
I don't feel like I've succeeded. You're saying well done. I'm like, oh yeah, but I'm not.
A secret society.
He's like hurdlers and murderers.
A secret
It's the way
society.
of knowing.
What? Oh, don't cry. It's not that bad. It's only a game. A secret. I've been really looking forward to doing
Yeah, I
this.
can tell.
A secret
But
society.
you knew it had this response, didn't you?
Yes, yeah, I did.
That's why you've been looking forward to
A
it.
secret society is plagued by untimely deaths involving broken necks and stabbings. One of the society does not speak but knows what has happened to the victims but is unable to communicate effectively. Communicate effectively.
Midsummer Murders.
That is Midsummer Murders, Death in Disguise. Ready? You've got two more.
Do you remember the episode of Jonathan Creek where he's like where?
Oh, I love Jonathan Creek.
Where they have them like fly towards this room, and it looks like they're flying from one side of the room to the other, but actually, because it was actually filmed at an angle, and they actually just fell downwards.
I don't remember that one.
No,
I've watched all of them. Okay, next one. A portrait is slashed with a knife. A series of mysterious, ghostly happenings follow. A man dies on the tomb of his ancestor, and there are encounters with a mysterious convict.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
Nope, Midsummer Murders Beyond the Grave.
Oh, just knocked
And
the
here's
mic.
the last one, right?
Right,
I'm going to
okay.
get really cross about this.
The fact that you start it with you're going to get really cross about this.
There is a...
You've done something purposefully.
Bearing in mind, I'd run out of time, right?
This one's made up then, isn't it?
There is a mysterious door that seems to hide a secret. The sound of a piano playing and laughter come from within, but when the door is knocked on, no one answers.
Is that it?
Yeah.
So that's like one scene from entire either play or episode of Midsummer Murders.
No. Go on.
It's not from either of them. It's not a Shakespeare play or Midsummer Murders. Is it the podcast?
No.
Is it Jonathan Creek?
No, it's Shaking Stevens' Green Door.
What the hell?
And that is it. It's the end of my little quiz. Oh, man alive.
You really struggled with that last bit.
I know. I knew you were going to get cross. Yeah, so there you go.
I enjoyed that.
All you need to know about Shakespeare. Look, I have got a new found respect for Shakespeare.
You've got serious very quickly.
No, I'm crying. I've got a new found respect for Shakespeare, and I love Midsummer Murders. So this last section has been a dream come true for me.
And Shaking
Midsummer
Stevens.
dreams come true. And Shaking Stevens, now I've never really liked Shaking Stevens.
Why?
Just because his name, they called him Shaky, and they call
I
William
get
Shakespeare.
the reference.
Yeah,
Before I was like, why have you done this?
yeah, no,
I thought you
exactly.
might have gone for a song that's got like Midsummer in the name.
Oh, I should have done that,
You
shouldn't I?
should have done that.
Yeah, never mind.
That would have gone with your Midsummer or Midsummer.
Okay, I'm done.
Oh, you off?
I am.
Is there no more facts you've got? Quick fire facts about?
A couple of things I'm meant to mention first. Meant to mention earlier in there was they've translated two of Shakespeare's plays into Klingon.
Which ones?
They have translated Hamlet and Much Ado About Nothing. That isn't a joke. That is oh, this is a shambles. What else? Nobody knows what happened to Shakespeare between 1585 and 1592.
Okay.
That's it.
7 years.
Everybody associates him with Queen Elizabeth, but he wrote most of his works in the Jacobean period after his death. After her death, not after his death. He's not that clever. And the only other thing that I was going to talk about that I forgot to talk about was, like you said about Macbeth, the fact that it's seen as bad luck if you can perform and you can rehearse and say Macbeth, because obviously you say his name many times in there, and Lady Macbeth, but if you're not and you're in the theatre, it's seen as very, very bad luck.
As in, if you're in the theatre, as in...
Or if actors are in a theatre or stagehands and they say the word Macbeth when they're not actually rehearsing or performing the play. Say if you were in a theatre and you said to someone, Are you playing Macbeth next week? Oh, shocking. That'd be terrible.
I don't really get it.
You're not allowed to say the word Macbeth.
Yeah, I get that.
Right.
I don't really get why.
Okay.
Seems silly, doesn't it?
Okay, that's definitely me done now then. Do you need to tell the people about your special things?
I've got this rash.
Yeah, no, not that. That's next week.
Oh, right, okay. Really?
Talking of next week, next week's podcast is going to be about Ireland, isn't it? We see how professional we are now.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Well, thank you for coming back so quickly.
It is.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like...
Do you want me to do it?
No.
You sure?
Do you want to give it a go?
I'll give it a go.
Okay.
Obviously, look, if you want to say anything about the podcast, if you want to reach out to us, if you want to comment or anything you like, there's ways you can do it. You can either do it through our website, which is fatherandsundays.com.
Yep.
Or you can message us through
contact.
Go through the contact page on that. You can contact us through you can contact us. But when you just went bah. I'm trying to. I haven't got my glasses on. You can contact us through the usual channels.
Email.
You can listen to the podcast.
Email, Dad. Email.
Email.
I was mouthing email.
Email, Twitter,
No,
Facebook.
Look,
What? Bah.
email, contact us at fatherandsundays.com.
Right, okay.
There's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like, share, follow us on those.
All right, yeah, that's what I said. And also, you can listen to us on pretty much all platforms that are worth using, such as Spotify and Apple Music and others. So
Our podcast's available on the website as well.
And it's available on the website. You can listen to. You can find all our older ones there. So what episode are we on now?
95.
95, so there's 94 other ones on there, as you can imagine. So you can listen to all those. It's a long while. If you're going to sit and listen to them back to back, it's a ridiculously long while.
And the first 8 episodes sound a bit
dodgy. Oh
dodgy.
yeah, but if you listen to them, we comment on. We were using like a couple of cans and a piece of string at the beginning, and now we're a lot more sophisticated, as you can see.
We've got 2 cans.
2 cans. We've got extra cans. We've got special cans. Okay, so
and the charity bit on
and a charity bit, and obviously I know it's tough times, and you know, yeah. But if you can spare, I think I'm gonna have to go to bed. If you can spare anything and sponsor Connor, you can find that all on the website as well. It's for a fantastic cause. It's a big deal, him doing this. It's incredible. So go for it if you can. That's all I've got to say. Have I done everything now?
Yeah, it was really good.
It's almost perfect.
Yeah, I think it was fantastic, but I felt like I was missing out, so I might take it back next week.
Okay.
That's all right.
I'll do the intro next week then.
Okay, so...
Okay. I'm just going to say goodbye from me and see you next week.
Bye!